Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele
predicts a great future. If they can find some fights.
Mike spikes in. He leads to the right hand. Down he goes. Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Razor is down.
Tell what another punch hurt.
Tubbs is hurt. Tubbs is hurt badly.
He's gonna hang on, or they'll stop the fight. Down he goes.
Would you believe the greatest knockout fighter of all time came from such a dark background? From a tumultuous childhood to run-ins with the law, Iron Mike Tyson's journey was anything but typical. But he still carved out one of the most extraordinary boxing careers we've ever seen. He was dangerous for everybody around him, both in and out of the ring. But how good was Mike Tyson at the peak of his career? And what do most people not know about him? Let's dive into the early chapters of Michael Gerard Tyson's life. A story that kicks off in the heart of Brooklyn, New York in 1966. Tyson's beginnings were far from a walk in the park. With no knowledge of his biological father, Purcell Tyson, and his stepdad, Jimmy Kirkpatrick, vanishing from the scene when Tyson was just a toddler of 2, Mike didn't have much of a father figure growing up, and his life got even more challenging. At 7, Tyson faced trauma as his alcoholic mother passed away, leaving him to navigate the tumultuous waters of adolescence. By the time he hit 16, he'd already seen more than his fair share of hardships. After the stepfather left, Tyson's family found themselves in 178 Amboy Street in Brownsville, an eastern neighborhood of Brooklyn. Now, Brownsville was known as the murder capital of New York, boasting the highest rates of incarceration and violent crime in the city. Life in Brownsville was like stepping into a gritty crime drama. Constant police interventions, ambulances on speed dial, gunshots in the background, and the unsettling reality of people getting stabbed. Tyson himself recalled everything was so hostile. It was in this rough setting that Tyson's life took a turn into the shadows of crime and rebellion. Now, Mike Tyson, a shy and chubby boy with a lisp and glasses, had to make his way through one of the toughest neighborhoods in the country. It was a make-or-break situation. Either stand your ground or fade into the background. Believe it or not, at the tender age of 10, Tyson found himself in a gang known as the Jolly Stompers. Despite the somewhat friendly name, these guys were anything but cuddly. And get this, by the time he hit 11, Tyson had already dipped his toes into the world of acid and cocaine. Oh, and he had a rap sheet that could rival a seasoned criminal. Over 30 arrests before hitting his teenage years. Given the rough start he had, it's not shocking that Tyson found himself drawn to a life of crime. But his life took a crazy turn when he was sent to a juvenile center upstate in New York. Now that's where the story gets really interesting. This is where Tyson's journey into the ring started. And guys, it's a truly unbelievable story. In 1981, a 12-year-old Tyson found himself at Tyrone School for Boys in upstate New York. Luckily for him, Bobby Stewart, a boxing enthusiast, was offering boxing lessons to the juvenile center's inmates. And get this, Stewart had once fought on the undercard of The Rumble in the Jungle back in 1974. Recognizing Tyson's potential, Stewart wasted no time reaching out to the legendary boxing manager, Cus D'Amato. Now, D'Amato wasn't new to shaping champions. He had led the likes of Josie Torres and Floyd Patterson to world titles. D'Amato saw something special in Tyson and took him under his wing, eventually adopting him and bringing him into his family home after Tyson's mother passed away. To make Tyson a force to be reckoned with in the ring, D'Amato enlisted the help of Teddy Atlas and Kevin Rooney to oversee his training. Tyson, now fully immersed in the world of boxing, dove headfirst into the sport. He religiously watched old boxing videos, soaking in the wisdom from legends of a bygone era. And that, my friends, marked the beginning of the rise of the boxing phenomenon we know as Iron Mike Tyson. Now let's dive into Tyson's professional career. It was late 1981 and Tyson was just 15 years old. Guess what? He already claimed the title of World Junior Olympic Champion.
He's trained by no other than Cus D'Amato. And there it's all over.
And get this, he knocked out Joe Cortez in an insane 8 seconds. And hey, that record, it's still standing tall today. That's when the legend of Iron Mike Tyson started to unfold. With his new dream team by his side, Tyson learned to transform all that childhood anger and frustration into a controlled yet downright terrifying aggression inside the ring. Tyson was no joke. Sure, he had some killer moves, dodging and weaving like a pro, but let's be real. His style was all about unleashing a beating on anyone daring enough to step into the ring with him. The moment that bell rang, Tyson was like a wild animal set free. He brought super stiff jabs, hooks that could haunt you, left and right mind you. He loved getting up close and personal, delivering brutal uppercuts to the head and body. And when he caught a whiff of blood, well, he became an unstoppable force. Relentless is an understatement. Tyson was on a mission to conquer, one knockout at a time. Now let's rewind to the early 1980s. That's when the guy who boldly called himself the baddest man on the planet went on an absolute rampage in the heavyweight division. We're talking about a colossal force tearing through opponents like they were made of paper. Between March 16, 1985 and September 6, 1986, Tyson was on a winning streak like no other. 27 fights, 25 of them ending with a knockout or TKO.
Second knockdown. This will come via a left hook. That didn't look as powerful as...
That's some serious domination, folks. On November 22nd, 1986, less than 2 years into his pro career, at just 20 years old, Tyson snagged the title of the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history. He got the WBC title from the reigning champion Trevor Berbick.
Fight plan. For the right hand, gets him behind the left ear. Easy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and right. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as... right hand, but the left hook right there. Is Berbick and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this. Combination. And Berbick ready to go.
And the victories kept rolling in.
Champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with the right left hook, and he goes down.
Less than a year later, Tyson made history again by becoming the first heavyweight to hold WBC, WBA, and IBF championship belts all at once. The undisputed champion ruled the ring for a solid 2 years, 6 months, and 10 days. Along the way, he took down future legends like Larry Holmes.
Continue that round after round. Oh, a big right hand. Definitely hurt. His legs are gone. And in comes Mike. There was a big right hand. Larry's nailed again. Gone. Nailed with the right hand, the left hand. He's got to hang on, or they'll stop the fight. Down he goes.
Michael Spinks.
Guy that hadn't fought in a long time in Jerry Cooney. The right hand lands to the head of Mike Spinks. It's really heavy landing yet, but he's taking them. The uppercut. Body shot. Down goes Mike Spinks for the first time. Down. Here comes Mike Spinks in. He leads to the right hand. Down he goes. I don't think you get up from this.
And Frank Bruno.
Bruno's already tagged with the right hand. And there goes Bruno for the first time in the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in.
Hang on, here comes the twist. That seemingly untouchable platform he'd built beneath his feet, well, it was about to crumble. Now let's talk about Tyson's fall from grace, a tale that took a dark turn in the late 1980s. By then, Tyson had etched his name into boxing history as the heavyweight with the meanest punch. On the surface, he was living the high life, basking in the luxury his skills had earned him. But my friends, behind the scenes, it was a different story. The loss of his mentor, Cus D'Amato, in 1985 hit Tyson like a ton of bricks. Soon after, enter the infamous Don King, who weaseled his way into Tyson's world, eventually becoming his manager. And here's where things got dark. Whispers of Tyson's increased use of cocaine and alcohol weren't just rumors. They were cold, hard truths. His new manager, King, and promoter didn't exactly guide Tyson towards the straight and narrow. Nope, they fueled the darker side of his personality, pushing him into a world of partying, drugs, alcohol, and women. Then in 1990, just a year after a messy divorce from Robin Givens, Tyson faced his first defeat in the ring. It was a one-sided clash with James Buster Douglas, and let me tell you, the world was genuinely shocked.
Mike actually has busted landing these. Oh, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's in big trouble. He's not going to make it. Unbelievable.
The champ had fallen, and unraveling had begun. Let's talk about Tyson's legacy. A legacy that took a hit and never quite recovered. So after that shocking loss to Douglas, things went south real quick for Tyson. In July 1991, he faced serious allegations from Desiree Washington, leading to charges and a 6-year prison sentence. Now, after his release and maintaining his innocence, Tyson tried to make a comeback. But unfortunately, it didn't pan out as expected. A fierce rivalry with Evander Holyfield ended in not one, but 2 losses. With the second one making headlines for Tyson biting off a piece of Holyfield's ear. Ouch. And that marked the rather sad and anticlimactic end for one of the greatest heavyweight fighters ever. Tyson's legacy, once untouchable, is now forever tarnished. But hey, let's not forget the bright side. In the passage of boxing history, Tyson will always be remembered as one of the most explosive, entertaining, and hard-hitting heavyweights the world has ever seen. Even though the ending wasn't ideal, the journey was one heck of a ride.